Well, first of all, Scott, I have to say that Michael Richardson and the mighty Blue Bomber defense will be a hard act to follow, but the Eskimos and Stampeders have always proved worthy in the Battle of Alberta as they meet for the third year in a row in the West Final to determine the other half of the Grey Cup equation. The Stampeders have known for a month that they would be playing this football game. They clinched the West Division first place title 1 month ago in October. And on the weekend, they learned that Edmonton would be their opponents, the Eskimos surviving that last-minute kickers duel against Saskatchewan in the West semifinal. Well, the weather indeed, Scott, could be a factor today. The wind chill right now, minus 23, mainly because of those northwest winds gusting as high as 59 kilometers per hour. Still no snow in Calgary, but the forecasters say it is still on its way. Well, there has been a football renaissance taking place in Calgary these days. The Stampeders finishing first overall in the CFL, the first time they've done that since 1967. When they went to the Cup last year, the first time in 20 years, people said that was a breakthrough. This time around, they expect it, but they're up against a team from Edmonton with pride and tradition, the Eskimos. 21 straight years in the playoffs. That is the best in the CFL. The season series, though, went to Calgary 2-1. To their thoughts on this game now, let's go up to the warm broadcast booth to Chris Cuthbert and Kent Austin.
Yes, Mark, no need for those fancy hats up here. Good afternoon, everybody. We've got the top 3 rated passers in the Canadian Football League here, Doug Flutie and Tracy Ham on the field, and the leading passer in 1992, Kent Austin, with us. Kent, welcome. Your thoughts on the conditions, because I don't think it's as bad out there right now as it was about 90 minutes ago.
No, I don't think so either. Earlier it seemed like the conditions were going to favor Edmonton, but now with the conditions easing up, I think it favors Calgary.
Well, we saw Michael Richardson run wild earlier today for Winnipeg, and there has been a focus on the running game of both these two teams coming into this one. The team that has rushed for the most yardage head-to-head has won. Your thoughts for Calgary on Keevan Jenkins?
Well, Keevan Jenkins is a different back than the other two on the other side of the ball. He's perfect for Calgary's offense in the sense that he can break the long play. He can break the 80, 90-yarder for a touchdown with his speed, both in the run game and the pass game. So he fits in perfectly for Calgary's offense.
Jenkins playing with a broken left thumb. He'll have a plate on that. Real power game, though, for the Eskimos running the football.
The two guys they have, Marshall and Souls, are perfect for their type of offense, which is grind it out 5-6 yards at a crack and keep their offense on the field and establish ball control.
And don't forget, both Tracy Ham and Doug Flutie can run with the football as well. Bitter cold, bitter rivals. Should be a great day at McMahon as we head back downstairs to Mark Lee.
Indeed, Chris, it is the Battle of Alberta, the Eskimos versus the Stampeders, a football game that has traditionally defined the rivalry between these two cities, Calgary and Edmonton. We'll see how it unfolds when the CFL on CBC returns after this.
It will be a true Canadian Football League test this afternoon, a battle against the elements between two great rivals for a chance to play indoors against the Blue Bombers next Sunday afternoon. Ron Lancaster's team are the underdogs here, but he was reminiscing about 1970 when his Saskatchewan Roughriders were 14-2 and yet lost to Calgary in tough weather conditions in the Western Final. And Wally Buono's Stampeders trying to repeat as West champions for the first time since Calgary did it in 1970 and 71. And both coaches were very calm and relaxed before the game. These two teams have been through this now for 3 consecutive years.
Yeah, they got a lot of experience in the Western Final, and I think that both coaches come from, well, of course, Lancaster comes from experience not only playing but also coaching, and expect a good game today.
Now the Saskatchewan, or the, check that, Calgary Stampeders.
I wish it was Saskatchewan.
I know you. Calgary Stampeders won the toss but have deferred to the second half. So Mark McLaughlin has it on the tee. He'll be kicking off to Gizmo Williams. We're underway with the Western Final, and it goes to the up man, Chris Johnstone. Johnstone across the 40 to the 42-yard line. So the Eskimos will start with the football there after the 13-yard return. They have the ball and the wind to open this game. Tracy Ham was never better, Kent, than on Labor Day here in Calgary.
Yeah, he ran a perfect offense for the type of defense that Calgary will present to him. I think he needs to do the same today.
Ham, though, has different memories of October the 24th when he suffered a separated shoulder after a hit from Alondra Johnson. First down, Eskimos. And Ham will pass in the flat has Sandusky, and he's tripped up there by Carl Anthony. Jim Sandusky at the 50-yard line has a pickup of 7. And here's the Eskimos backfield. Of course, Souls and Marshall. Henry Williams is the deep threat. And the slots are Casey Dunn and Craig Ellis. And up front, a very good veteran offensive line, Pierre Bercheval. Ken, probably the best run blocker they have.
Absolutely. He's a great offensive lineman. He's done a good job for him in the run game this year.
Second down 3. Good situation for the Eskimos. More on that later. It's Blake Marshall trying to drive for the first down. He'll be close. Met by Marvin Pope, the new middle linebacker of the Stampeders. Put into the lineup in October, I think, with the Eskimos in mind, as he is the guy that's really helped them on run defense.
Absolutely. That's a decision that they made to play Pope inside. As you can see, they've got Daryl Hall playing at halfback, which is his natural position. I think he's the best halfback in the CFL when he plays there.
As you can see, Marshall comes up short. 3rd and a foot. And Ron Lancaster sends in his elephant team to go after it on the 3rd down gamble.
Probably the best short yardage offense in the CFL right here.
Well, they've got Marshall in behind Ham, but I think you'd expect Ham to just keep the football with just a yard to go. Both coaches stressing the importance. It's a cliche, but in cold weather, the battle in the trenches between these two lines. Early movement, Ham off the left side should have it, but there is a flag down. Referee is Ken Lazarick, and we saw Tracy with the stutter cadence last week against your team, Ken.
What Tracy does so well is he bobs his head, and we used to complain to the
offside, Calgary number 81, first down Edmonton.
It's Will Johnson.
We used to complain to the referee about him bobbing his head and drawing the defense off sides, but he does such an effective job at it. You watch him today, he'll draw the defense off sides quite a bit.
So the Eskimos with the first down have the football in Calgary territory at the Stampeder 52-yard line. Ryan Walling, the lone setback, play action. Ham being chased down by Will Johnson. Now outlets to Walling, who drops the football. Walling, who beat the Calgary Stampeders in the West Final a couple of years back with a big play. Here's the defensive alignment for the Stampeders and a veteran front 4.
Excellent front 4. They'll put a lot of pressure on Tracy today.
Pope in the middle now. They call him Big Daddy, and he'll fill the hole along with the all-star outside linebackers and a veteran defensive secondary.
There you see Daryl Hall again, like I said, lining up at halfback. I believe he's the best halfback in the CFL.
2nd and 10 for the Eskimos. Ellis goes in motion. 3 receivers to the left side. They fake it to Walling. Ham with time, throwing for Sandusky. Incomplete. Daryl Hall was there, covering on Sandusky.
There's an example of Daryl Hall's ability at halfback.
3rd and 10 Eskimos.
Boy, Johnson got mugged as he tried to get to Tracy Ham, and Sandusky couldn't pull it in. Well, we saw 2 first down plays by the Eskimos. The first one, they got 7 yards. The second was an incomplete pass, and both teams saying the key to this game may be the Eskimos' efficiency on first down.
Absolutely need to get positive yards on first down. If they get a second long situation against Calgary, they're in for a long day.
Glenn Harper is set to punt to either Pee Wee Smith or Derek Crawford. And they get crossed up, and the ball into the end zone. Crawford hops on it. No yards is the call. Dwayne Odom encroached on that 5-yard restraining area. And let's see if the Stampeders give up the point or take the penalty. A 54-yard punt with the win by Harper. Lazarick will explain the options to the Stampeders.
Yeah, they're going to give up the single.
No yards. Edmonton number 36, declined.
So they do give up the single point to get better field position. So the Eskimos have opened the scoring with 12:33 left in the first quarter.
And AGT Cellular are giving away a cellular phone.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the Stampeders offense has just executed its first play of the game, and already Doug Flutie is scrambling. 30 interceptions seems high. He had 21 at the halfway point of the season, just 9 in the second half. He gave up 9 against the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, what you need to remember is he's got 688 attempts. That's a lot more attempts than most quarterbacks in the league, so his percentage interception, I'm sure, was way down.
A lot more than most quarterbacks, but not one I know of. Second down and 10 after an incompleted pass by Flutie on first down, and he has another incompletion. We thought Pitts had that, but couldn't squeeze the football. Eddie Thomas was watching the leading receiver during the regular season in the Canadian Football League, Alan Pitts, but very quickly, it's 2 and out for Calgary.
Here's Pitts just running a simple curl route, runs a great route. The thing that Allen does early in the game, he's a great receiver, but he tends to drop the ball early in the game. As the game goes on, he gets better and better and better. So look for him to bring it on as the game goes on.
Was dropping the ball early in the season as well, and then got red hot as the year went on. Tony Martino into the game to punt for Calgary against the wind. Line drive kick, and it's Sandusky at his own 50, trying to get outside, and he's nailed there by Daryl Hall, the All-Canadian defensive back a year ago. A 27-yard punt into the wind, and just a 2-yard return thanks to the work of Daryl Hall. Here is the statistical story head-to-head this year, Calgary against Edmonton.
Look at the interceptions by. Edmonton's got 9 against Calgary. They're going to have to force turnovers today to have a chance against Calgary's offense. Quarterback sacks, you see Calgary's got 10 against Tracy Ham. There's another indicator of what Calgary needs to do defensively.
I think what surprised a lot of people, the rushing totals were about even for both teams. First down, Eskimos at their own 50. Ham, big runway, and now keeps it. And Tracy Ham has a first down, running out of bounds at the Eskimo bench.
That's a design play. That's called a quarterback counter. They show motion to the field, and Tracy just peels back and runs the counter backside.
Well, Ron Lancaster says when Tracy Ham is running, he is in the football game. Blake Marshall leading him.
Especially early in the game. Tracy seems to get in the flow better when he runs early.
So it's a first down for the Eskimos at the Calgary 49-yard line. Eskimos operating with the wind. This is Souls trying the left side, has 5, and a flag goes down as he steps out of bounds. Michael Souls, a slippery running back, and this one may be coming back.
And we got him for holding. That's one of Edmonton's favorite running plays right there. You'll see that play quite a bit today. It's a weak side trap play.
Souls with 240 yards rushing in 28 attempts against the Stampeders this year. Ron Lancaster's team avoiding.
Edmonton, first down repeated.
Ron Lancaster's team avoiding the penalties last week against Saskatchewan.
Boy, it's really important for Edmonton to get some yards here on first down. They don't want to get the second and 15 against Calgary.
Good gain by Souls, negated by the holding call, so it's 1st and 20. Back at the Edmonton 51. They go back to Souls, spins off one man, and gets over midfield down to the 54-yard line. Marvin Pope with the tackle. Talking to Alondra Johnson yesterday, Kent, he said, you know, Souls is a big target, but he spins as he's being hit, and he's often a tough guy to bring down.
Souls is very, very deceptive, and I think a very underrated tailback in the league. He's an excellent running back. Good play by Pope, fighting off the block and making the play.
Marvin Pope, 6'1", 240 pounds. There's Souls,
2nd and 16.
6'1", 215. Out of McGill. Michael got 6. It's 2nd and 14. And over the middle, overthrowing Casey Dunn. The slot back was the intended receiver.
Well, they had a shot there, but it was just a little overthrown by Tracy. I wonder if the wind carried that ball.
I know Doug Flutie yesterday was saying sometimes it's just as tough to throw with the wind as it is against the wind.
Actually, sometimes it's harder depending on how hard the wind's blowing. Your ball tends to sail on you with the wind at your back. When you're throwing into the wind, you can throw it hard, the ball still stays down.
Well, Glenn Harper kicked a 54-yard single on his first try of the game. And they're kicking from midfield again with Smith and Crawford deep. Flag going down. Early movement by the Stampeders. And it's picked up by Crawford. Another flag down, and Crawford's got some room to go. Flag's on the field. Derek Crawford will go. But this one should be coming back. 5 times this year, Derek Crawford has gotten into the end zone, and it's been brought back by penalties. And Kent, I think this is number 6.
Well, that shows you Calgary's offensive special teams right there. Everybody talks about the Gizmo and his return game, but Calgary's got an excellent return game in special teams.
Not much question. It was offside. Somebody along that defensive line jumped. We believe it was the safety, Greg Knox.
It's really important for Edmonton to try and establish some type of success offensively and get some points when the wind's at their back, because when they go into the wind, it's going to be tougher for them.
Offside, Calgary. No yards, 5-yard pitch back to Edmonton. It'll be a 3rd down repeated.
So instead of the touchdown return, they'll get another kick, and let's see who jumped. Like more than one of the Stampeders, but Knox, it appears at the end, was the first man to jump.
And Crawford is going back there again.
So again from midfield, Harper gets set. Better kick by Harper, and he kicks it out of bounds inside the 10. No return this time. Good job by Glenn Harper, and Calgary will start deep in their own zone.
Glenn Harper.
A look at Doug Flutie, the outstanding player in the West in 1992. He set 11 different Stampeder passing records this year, looking for his first CFL playoff victory.
Just another great year by Doug. It's almost 6,000 yards passing, another 700 rushing. He's just an outstanding player.
8:50 to go, first quarter here at McMahon Stadium. Stampeders with the ball for the second time in the game, and they're operating into the wind here in the first quarter. Here's Jenkins off the left side, and Keevan has a couple. I mentioned playing with a broken left thumb. He does have a support on that thumb. Jenkins and McVeigh in the backfield. There are 3 1,000-yard pass receivers, Bland, Pitts, and Dave Sapunjas, and Derek Crawford's a deep threat for them as well. And this offensive line gave up just 34 sacks this year, second only to the guys who did a great job of protecting Kent Austin in Saskatchewan.
Second down and 7.
Here you see a change. Calgary brings in their extra receiver. Edmonton brings in their extra DB, the defensive.
Second down, 7 or 8, and Flutie will take off, and he turns it upfield. Look at this. Now he pitches it out to Derek Crawford's got great speed to midfield. A little bit of rugby action. And a big play by the Stampeders, and that really is the element that Doug Flutie brings to the Canadian football.
That's absolutely Doug at his best. Backyard ad-lib football. It's just a great play by Doug.
I think the Eskimos thought he was running out of bounds, content with a first down.
Well, you see Blue right there losing contain. You can't lose contain on the outside for Doug. Cuts back across the grain, and he finds his receiver and says, I'm tired, I'll pitch it back to you, let you go for a while. Great play by Doug.
They give Flutie 23, 26 more for Derek Crawford. Behind the play, there's an injured Eskimo. It's Benny Goods, who was the first man in pursuit of Doug Flutie. I'll tell you what, Flutie cut it inside and had Willie Plus, the top defensive player in the West, going the wrong way.
Here you see, I think it's Larry Rock that runs into Goods. Hit his own man. I think that's what put Goods down. That was caused because of Flutie's cutback, his ability to start and stop on a dime.
Number 40,
Just a great cut by Doug.
Eskimo.
Doug allowing a little smile on his face after that play. That warmed up the Calgary offense in a hurry. Their first down of the game. And it looks like Goods will be okay. Big pressure man for the Eskimos with 6 sacks in his last 6 games. So at the 42-yard line of Edmonton, the Stampeders, with one play, are threatening. Jenkins the lone setback, and he gets the football, and again, not much off the left side. Larry Ruck, Jed Roberts there. Let's take a look at that Eskimo defensive lineup. Benny Goods out right now. He's replaced by Jed Roberts. Great linebacking core. Odom Ruck, plus in blue, and Odom often comes out for the extra defensive back. Lyons, Jackson, Brown, Jordan, and Thomas, and you'll also see Travis Oliver come in as the extra defensive back. And now an injured Calgary Stampeder. It's the starting center, Doug Davies. And that will mean Bob McDonald will come into the game. McDonald was the starting center at the start of the season. Davies, a veteran who held the position a year ago, won the job back in October. And now McDonald and Flutie warming up. We'll be back to McMahon Stadium. First quarter, Eskimos on top. Doug Davies is out, Bob McDonald in. Does that unsettle a quarterback in any way, Kim?
Usually not when the quarterback's under the center. It might make a difference in shotgun formation as you're seeing now, so let's see what happens.
McDonald did practice a couple of shotgun snaps, and he has a perfect delivery to Flutie on 2nd and 9. Flutie to Crawford, and he can't hang on. Oh, boy.
Well, that was a great throw by Doug into the wind. That should have been a touchdown.
Tougher to squeeze a cold football, or?
I think he probably just took his eye off it. He was looking at the end zone and scoring 6 and took his eye off the ball here. Yeah, there you can see it. He sure did. He took his eye off the ball and looking at the guy come over and make the hit.
He's been the most dangerous man on the field so far. A punt return brought back on a penalty. Then that long little flip from Flutie as Doug Davies gets some attention. It appears to be the right ankle. There's Martino in on 3rd down. Another tough kick into the wind right off the side of his foot, and it goes out at the 20.
Well, you can see Calgary's philosophy right now on 2 punts and 1 kick. I mean, it's or 3 punts, I should say. They can punt away from the gives. They're not going to give him a chance to return the ball.
Unbelievable statistic this year. 4 punt returns for Gizmo against Calgary for 13 yards. Calgary did the best job on Williams of any team in the league. Well, we didn't expect this earlier today. I know the folks in Hamilton didn't. 59-11, the Michael Richardson show as the Bombers go on to the Grey Cup game once again. Ham's missed on his last 3 tries. Can't find anybody. Down he goes. Tim Cofield with the outside pressure. And down goes Ham.
That was a coverage sack. They didn't bite on the play action at all, and they covered the people downfield. Gave the defensive front a chance to get after him. Before the start of that replay, Ham was really looking for the play action pass into the weak side or into the boundary. Didn't have a chance to get the ball off.
He was the top defensive player in last year's Western Final with 2 sacks and 6 pressures. 2nd and long, Ham over the middle. Gizmo can't hang on. Alondra Johnson was in the neighborhood, and Gizmo may have snuck a peek at Johnson. There is a flag on the play. Procedure against the Eskimos, and the Stampeders will decline this.
Legal procedure. Edmonton number 33 declined. 3rd down.
Well, up until this last exchange here, Edmonton was winning the battle of field position. Now they're giving it up with the win at their backs. This is not a good sign. We're going on 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they've only scored 1 point.
That was a point that really the Stampeders conceded. They had an opportunity to take the ball and take a penalty, but instead gave up the 1 point for field position. It has turned out to be a great decision by Wally Bonham. Crawford to Smith again deep.
Great punt.
And it will be Pee Wee at his own 40. Trying to follow the block of Junior Thurman,
Pee-wee
fumbles
Smith
the
on the return
football,
for the
and Crawford
Stampeders.
alertly gets on it for the Stampeders. Check that, that's Ken Watson, 33,
Brought down by number 83,
after
Chris
a
Gottsville.
51-yard Harper punt.
7.
There is a flag on the field.
Okay, we're going back 10 from here.
Well, that'll help.
There's a timeout on the field, 5:21 to go. First quarter in Calgary. We're in chilly Calgary, Alberta. Wind chill factor of minus 22 degrees today, but Wally Buono says this is nothing compared to last year in the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. And Buono, Doug Flutie, and the Stampeders would like another trip to the Grey Cup and a meeting with Winnipeg. Here's a foot pass over the middle.
Doug Flutie's pass is complete.
And a completion to Alan Pitts. Leroy Blue with the tackle for Edmonton.
Leroy Blue on the tackle.
There's pitches dragging underneath. They're
Gain of 8 yards.
like a middle screen, pulling the lineman out in front of him. There's an example of Doug being able to throw off his back foot going backwards. Athletic ability that Doug has to throw under all conditions and in all positions.
There's a gain of 8, close to 9 yards. Second and short for Calgary. Alan Pitts, the first CFL receiver ever to have 100 catches or more in 2 consecutive seasons. Pitch to Jenkins, trying to get outside. And Larry Ruck forces him out short of the first down.
Number 47.
Larry Ruck's had a great year this year. I think with him and Pless, they've got the best 1-2 punch in the linebacking core in the CFL.
You know, I was surprised, Ken. Larry Ruck is the only member of the Eskimo defense with a Grey Cup ring. You think about the Eskimos and their tradition of winning. He's the only guy back there. Just 8 of these Eskimos have been Grey Cup winners.
That is surprising. He's really done a great job moving back from weak side linebacker into the middle, taking the place of Danny Bass inside. He's had a good year for Edmonton.
Third down and Martino back in. Let's see if he kicks it to Gizmo. Wally Buono says he won't be, and he does. Angle it towards Sandusky, who lets it bounce, and it finds a way to Gizmo, but look at this coverage. Completely surrounded, led by Andy McVeigh back at the Calgary 40-yard line, and with that bounce, not a bad punt of 33 yards by Tony Martino. Here's Mark.
Well, Chris, the Stampeders held the edge in the season series with Edmonton. On August 28th, a rainy night, Doug Flutie passed 7 yards to Pee-wee Smith. The Stamps win their first win at Commonwealth in 12 years. Then, Labor Day, Tracy Ham scored his second touchdown. A 17-yard run, Edmonton avenging that earlier loss to take sole possession of first place. And October 24th in Calgary, Doug Flutie scored from 7 yards out to cap a 40-23 Calgary win and clinch first place.
Tracy Ham just took quite a shot. Alondra Johnson, who says he can run step for step with Ham, nailed him there, but Tracy straight up.
Tracy fumbles the snap. Looks like they've got him for a loss. With his athletic ability, he ends up picking up 8 yards. What a
A
play.
gain of 7 for Ham. Second down, 3.
Well, he may be injury-free for the first time since Labor Day, and when Tracy's got his legs back, he's dangerous. Took a hit there. It's second down and 2. Give to big Blake Marshall, and he thunders off the left side for a first down. Marvin Pope came up to make the tackle.
There's that weak side trap again. They're going to run that play quite a bit today.
Pope on the tackle.
Blake was delighted with news of the incoming blizzard when I talked to him earlier today. He wanted the snow last week against you guys at Commonwealth Stadium. He was a little upset when conditions were so nice.
Well, I don't know what he was complaining about. He got a sloppy field nonetheless.
And slippery too. First down, Ham throwing, looking for Sandusky. Oh, he almost made the circus catch.
Sandusky, number 7.
Boy, that was a nice throw by Tracy.
Great battle there between the veteran Sandusky and the cornerback Carl Anthony.
Providing tight coverage for Calgary. Second down and 10.
Boy, it looked like the ground was what jarred it out of Sandusky's hands. Great effort by Jim Sandusky.
Anthony started the first 9 games of the year inside at defensive halfback. They moved him out for the last 9 games onto the corner where he's matched up against Sandusky. It's second and 10.
Safety blitz.
Here comes Craig Peterson. Will Johnson got him!
there's a good example of what I was talking to you about earlier, Chris, and that is on 2nd and 10 or 2nd and long situations, bringing pressure on Tracy Ham. 14 of their 22 interceptions this year on offense were in 2nd down conversion attempts. They're 38% conversion offense in 2nd down situations.
Will Johnson, a unanimous pick to the Western All-Star team, shows you why. 10 sacks during the regular season, and I don't think there's a defensive end in the league that is as fast as Johnson. 3rd, and a whole lot for the Eskimos. And time running out for Edmonton with the win here in the first quarter, down to 1:40. Derek Crawford from his 25, changed direction.
Oh, good cut.
Turns it up. Look at him accelerate. One man to beat, it's Harper. And Crawford steps out at the 30. Well, the punter saved the day that time, but Derek Crawford, not Gizmo Williams, has been the most dangerous man on the field so far this afternoon. 48-yard punt, but a 54-yard Derek Crawford return.
Watch the cut that Crawford makes to get past the initial line here. Right there. Great cut by Crawford to get outside. Glenn Harper has to make the play to save a touchdown. Calgary's got the best defensive and offensive special teams in the CFL, in my opinion.
You know, Gizmo and Derek Crawford were teammates in the USFL with Memphis, and they were so good they named a team after them. They were the Memphis Showboats. And those two guys can really put on a show. So far, it's been advantage Crawford. 30-yard line. Flutie rolling to his right, pulls it down, loses it.
That's a pass now. That's not a fumble.
Well, let's see how the officials call it. Lloyd Lewis is on the ball. The Eskimos.
That was a forward pass.
Turnover. We're going to have another look.
I think if you watch on the replay here, Doug tries to, even though he throws it underarm, if he throws it forward, it's a pass. That's what he's complaining about. Doug's absolutely got a beef here.
I believe it was Stephan Jordan who came up with the football.
Okay, he fakes there. Now watch Doug. Throws it forward.
No question.
That's a forward pass. It doesn't matter how his arm goes. That's a forward pass. That should be an incompletion.
It was Jordan who blocked it. And Doug's heated up on the sidelines, and the Eskimos get a big break here. 45 seconds to go.
There's that weak side run play again.
Marshall, nothing doing. Marvin Pope filled the hole. A true run linebacker. Kent Wally Bono says he's a lot like his old teammate Carl Crennel.
Well, so far it looks like a pretty good decision to move him inside a linebacker. Move Darryl Hall out to halfback.
Now for the fans at home, you can throw the ball overhand or underhand.
You can throw it any way you want. As long as it goes forward, it's considered a forward pass.
And with Doug, it's off inside arm. There's a pass over the middle for Casey Dunn. Kent Leonard supplying the coverage, but Dunn makes the catch, and the Stampeders now are arguing that call. They didn't think Dunn had his hands on it.
That looked like a pretty good completion to me.
Kenton Leonard, number 30 on the coverage.
Flutie keeping warm at the Stampeder bench. And this will be the final play, barring a penalty in the first quarter. Eskimos lead by 1-0. But they perhaps wanted more with the win. Over the middle, and that's a free ball for Greg Peterson. The 9-year safety has the ball and is down at the 40-yard line. So a theft by the lawyer, who is also a safety for the Stampeders, veteran Greg Peterson on Tracy Ham. There was a holding penalty against the Eskimos, which will be declined. So first Flutie gets up the ball, but the Stampeders get it right back.
With the Eskimos leading the Stampeders 1-0.
Eskimos had the football and the wind in the first quarter and came up with just a 1-point lead.
Yeah, it'll bring me to a point after this play. Let's watch this play.
Stampeders now enjoying the wind advantage, and it's Flutie in the flat to Pee Wee Smith. And Smith across the 45 to the 47. Let's join Mark.
Well, Chris, Doug Davies is still on the sidelines and not in the game for the Stampeders. He suffered a sprained right ankle in the first quarter, the same ankle he broke a couple of years ago and had to have surgery on. They retaped it, but he's been wincing in pain and he's staying out of the game. Bob McDonald is replacing him right now. Remember, Davies is a crucial long snapper for the Stampeders.
Second down now, 5 yards to go for Calgary. Out of the shotgun is Flutie. Dishes it off. Nice catch there by Jenkins. And he shows you that added dimension is pass receiving out of the backfield for a first down. Let's check the numbers in the first 15 minutes here, and not much offense.
Just great defense so far by both teams. But I think on that last play, you see an example of a tailback that can come out of the backfield in a wide open offense like Calgary runs. It can be utilized as a receiver. It's a great threat.
And again, even with the plate on the left thumb of Jenkins to protect the broken thumb, he's able to hold on to the football. First down, Stampeders. Fake to Jenkins, and here's Flutie getting outside, gets a block, and he has a first down out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
Watch the old dead leg, as we call it here, that Flutie gives. Was it Stephon Jordan?
Flag is down, and the officials conferring, and this is going to bring it back. Seems every time Calgary's had a big play so far, something has negated it.
Unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 25. After the first down had been gained.
That's Dave Sapunja, so we're going to get a look at what happened after Flutie had the first down.
Oh, yeah. You can't throw a blow to the head. It doesn't matter if it's just a graze or not. I mean, you absolutely cannot do that. They're going to throw that flag every time.
Sapunjas on Larry Ruck that time. So they do have a first down, but the football...
He's got 5 receivers to the field.
Back at 47. 5 receivers right side. They go to the left and have a completion down at the 20.
They absolutely should not have completed that ball, and I'll tell you why. They put 5 receivers to the field. They do not adjust Enos Jackson. Enos Jackson was still into the boundary. They should have had cut cover into the boundary, or 2-on-1, I should say, and they should have never been able to complete this ball. There you see Enos Jackson. Right there. Should have been 2-on-1 on that receiver backside.
Instead, it was just Damian Lyons, and Carl Bland has the catch. He had 21 during the regular season against the Eskimos. Now they've got 5 again. Flag down. They're not going to get this play off. Well, I've heard of a 5-pack and a 6-pack, but you don't often see 5 to one side of the field.
No, that's the first time I've seen that in this league.
League of procedure. Calgary number 64, still first down.
Well, it was the veteran Ken Moore, who used to block for Ken Austin in Saskatchewan, who moved, and it will be first down over again in 15.
You can see Edmonton scrambling around now. If you look at the secondary, you can see him scrambling around on how to adjust to that 5 receivers out to one side.
First and 15 now at the Edmonton 25.
12:15 to go, first half. At McMahon, 1-0 Edmonton.
Now they've got 3 into the boundary.
Bad shotgun snap. Flutie in trouble, shovels it away, and it's knocked down. And Willie Pless might have had a chance at an interception.
There may be an example of having a new center in the game on the shotgun formation.
That's Bob McDonald.
So even though Calgary's got the wind at their back, the center is snapping the ball into the wind in the shotgun formation. It's a lot tougher.
Of course, he was the starting center for most of the season. Again, the 5-pack goes right. 1 receiver left.
We got 1-on-1 short side.
Second and 15. Flutie has time over the middle. Pitts can't hang on. Flutie threw a bullet and it hit Pitts right in the hands.
Third down at 15.
Ooh.
Looked like Leroy Blue.
Big hit by Blue. Should have been caught, though.
Yep. That's a couple that have been dropped by the Stampeder receivers so far.
Well, that's Allen's tendency. Early in the game, he'll drop balls that he should have caught. But as the game goes on, though, he turns it on.
For a 32-yard field goal attempt.
So now McLaughlin comes in to attempt a 32-yard field goal. Franklin puts it through. The leading scorer during the regular season has put Calgary out in front.
The score, the Stampeders 3, the Eskimos.
Back at McMahon Stadium, it's been a defensive battle so far, and there is some concern at the bench for Alan Pitts, who stumbled as he came off the field a little groggy. Kent, after that hit.
Boy, he took a heck of a hit there. I'm kind of wondering if that hit was late or not.
We'll watch to see if Pitts is back out for the next offensive series for the Stampeders. Right now, first down Eskimos. They trail 3-1 in the game. Tracy Ham, look at Will Johnson again. Ham fumbles the football, gets it back.
Tracy Ham
With Will Johnson in pursuit. Now I know why you take that three-step drop and just throw the ball, Ken.
Well, I'll tell you, Will's one of the toughest rush ends in the league to get outside contain on. Even if the ball hadn't come out of Tracy's hand, I think he actually got more yards because the ball did come out of his hands. Will had him wrapped up.
Would have been a loss. Instead, they get a yard, maybe two on the play. Will Johnson has been a force here early. He sat out the last game of the regular season to rest. That game against Saskatchewan, and Johnson has the fresh legs right now. Ham, again with that quarterback counter, drops the ball again. This time, Stamps get it. Now, is that cold hands, or?
I think what Tracy's doing is he's not putting the ball away. In other words, he's trying to hold the ball just in the palm of his hand as if he was throwing it. When your hand's cold, it's tough to hold on to it. He needs to tuck the ball when he's running.
It appeared the Stampeders got on the football. That's how the fans on the far side reacted. But it appears the Stampeders defense is coming back out.
No, I'll tell you, Chris, I take that back. Tracy had it tucked. The ball just seemed to pop out of there.
Looked like Cofield got on it, but they are ruling it Eskimo football. It is third down. And that's a surprise. Eskimos will get a chance to kick it away after Ham fumbled it nearly away twice. Now this is a test for Harper, and they do have two men onside for the Eskimos. You can see a man to either side. Dan Murphy and Eddie Thomas are behind Harper, and they are eligible to go down and pick up any loose ball. Harper kicks it downfield, and quickly on it is Pee Wee, and he's knocked out at the 51-yard line. Another flag is down.
Picks up the short punt and gets about 2 yards on the return to the Calgary.
Just a 20-yard punt into the wind. Harper's first against the wind today. They're calling procedure against the Eskimos, and I would suspect Matt Finley and the Stampeders will decline.
They've got excellent field position here. They should decline this penalty.
Flag down on the play.
10:16 left here. First half at McMahon Stadium. Stamps have the lead and the football.
The Stampeder receiver Alan Pitts is back in the game after taking a very tough shot on the head in that last series. He came out of the game and told athletic therapist Pat Clayton that he couldn't remember the play he was involved in. But right now, he apparently is okay to continue in this game.
10 at their own 50.
He was just looking skyward there. I'm not sure if he is okay. Here's Flutie in the flat, low delivery to Keevan
Doug
Jenkins.
Flutie's pass was intended for number 23, Keevan Jenkins. Came up just a bit short.
Coverage for the Eskimos.
Supplying the coverage for the
That's a play that Calgary run quite a bit. If you'll notice, they'll bring Sapunjas in from the outside. He'll try to tie up the rush end and then release him. And Doug will either have the option to throw outside or underneath to Sapunjas after he lets the rush end go.
Second and 10 at the 50.
Doug's dad on the sidelines taking pictures today. Dad Richard here for the first time to see his son play in Calgary. Second down. Flutie throwing for Sapunjas.
Doug Flutie's pass
Sapunjas is the outlet man for Flutie. He caught the pass, but is well short of the
He
first
is
down.
tackled immediately by number 11, Stefan Jordan for the Eskimos.
What a year for Dave Sapunjas. Last
Gain of 5, and
year,
it's
he
third
had
and 5.
9 catches. This year, he had 77 for 1,317 yards.
Sapunjas has really made their offense a lot better, in my opinion. When you go to a 5-receiver offense, you've got to have a 5th receiver that can give you production. And Sapunjas has done that this year for Calgary's offense.
The Stampeders with 3,000-yard men this year. Saskatchewan Roughriders also had 3. It's only happened 8 times in CFL history. Tony Martino in on 3rd down. And Gizmo Williams backed up into a corner.
Great
and there's
coverage.
not much. He fumbled it. Calgary's got it. Doug Davies is down. The long snapper with the bad ankle has the football. He's hobbling off, but he didn't waste any time getting downfield.
Boy, that's absolutely what you don't want to happen in a playoff game. That's turn the ball over, especially on special teams.
Look at that, 4-5 had a shot, and then there's Davies picking up the loose football. So the first big break going Calgary's way here.
He was close to being down.
Marvin Pope forced the fumble.
First down, Stampeders at the Eskimo 10.
And Davies back in to snap the football too. First down from the 10. Flutie will keep. And he'll score!
Boy, very well designed play there, Chris.
Well, even the pudding's tough for the horse, but not for Doug Flutie. 11 touchdowns on the ground during the regular season and his first in the playoffs.
It's a design run all the way. They put 4 receivers out to one side, leave 1 into the boundary, and they pulled their strong side tackle, Kenny Moore, all the way back to the weak side to kick out the support. Doug cut up underneath him for the touchdown.
Yeah, great blocking by Ken Moore, and Doug Flutie has the first major of this game, and the Stampeders have a 10-1 lead after the Gizmo Williams fumble.
You can see Kenny Moore pulling around. There's the kick out right there. Doug cuts up back underneath, gets in the end zone. Very well designed play by Calgary.
Moore took out Larry Ruck, and Flutie had no trouble getting it into the end zone. Everybody talks about Flutie's great passing numbers, but he was an effective rusher at times this year and has been in this game. Great crowd at McMahon under these tough conditions. Flutie has 3 carries now for 44 yards.
Doug usually uses his ability to run and scramble to set up the pass more than to actually run the football.
Mark McLaughlin to kick for the
McLaughlin getting set to kick off, and Gizmo's back. Line drive kick. Gizmo fields it on the first hop. And Gizmo will be pumped up to atone for that mistake. He's out of bounds at the 37. As we join Mark.
Well, Chris, Doug Flutie's biggest fan, his dad, Richard, is here on the sidelines today. Richard, making your first visit to Calgary to watch your son play. What do you think?
Well, I think we got a break on the weather. That was important. And I think that after they all get all their nervousness out, it's going to be even a higher scoring second half if the weather.
Now, you are a professional photographer. I see you've got your camera here. Is this for pleasure or business?
This is both. This is both. We plan to do a poster back in Natick, Massachusetts. Everybody wants a poster of. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay, Richard, good talking with you. Enjoy the game.
For the Eskimos.
Chris?
Well, Michael Souls running for a first down on that game. Natick, Massachusetts, the home of the Fluties, also the birthplace, and one of the great ironies, I think, of Kent Austin.
Yeah, I was born in Natick, and I only stayed there for about a year or two in my first 2 years of my life. But we're from the same hometown.
You don't have a street named after you, though.
No, absolutely not.
Not yet, anyway. 8:02 to go here in the first half. Eskimos have the ball. Actually, Stoles stopped up just shy of the first down. He got 9. And at the 46-yard line, second and less than a yard. They go to Marshall. Stopped up. Look at that defense. First man was Harold Hasselbeck. And you don't see that happen very often. Blake Marshall stopped short on 2nd and 1.
Well, it was really important for Edmonton to come back and answer that score by Calgary. Now you feel the momentum shifting now to Calgary's favor. And with the win at their back and Doug starting to get on his game, Edmonton really needs to put the ball in the end zone.
Hasselback is an amazing story. 6 years of football. This is his first year as a starter. Played all 18 games for the Stampeders. He speaks 7 languages. Third down. And again, 2 other Eskimos will be onside here as Harper kicks it downfield. Pee-wee Smith, out of bounds. The 41, chased out by Larry Rupp. No predictions from Pee-wee Smith. On Labor Day, he said they'd win by 21. This time, he was silent. Well, a week from now will be a lot warmer at Skydome, Toronto for the 1992 Grey Cup game. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers awaiting the winner of this Western Final. Right now, the Stamps leading 10-1. Jenkins on the counter play up to the 46-yard line. Stephen Jordan moving up from his defensive back position to make the tackle.
Gaining 5 yards.
There's another former Saskatchewan Rough Rider quarterback, John Hufnagel, who is the offensive coordinator.
John will also call Calgary's offensive plays. Doug has this place called for him. John certainly knows the league and has had a lot of success up here, and he runs the show.
Jenkins close to 5 yards on the
2nd and 5.
Last play, so it's 2nd and 5. Sapunjas in motion. They fake this time to Jenkins. Looney out in the flat. Sapunjas drops the ball. And we've seen a number of drop passes in this first half.
Well, I'll tell you, if it wasn't for the drop balls in this first half, the score could be uglier than it is right now.
Now, do the quarterbacks talk to the receivers after a drop like that?
No, absolutely not. Not the way these receivers play. Well, sometimes you do, but you got to be careful in what you say. I mean, these guys are not going to make every catch, and we're certainly not going to make every throw right on target either.
Tony Martino
now into the game to punt with the wind, and Gizmo back inside his 10 once again. Good kick with the wind. He gets a bounce right along the sidelines, and that added an extra 10 yards. Earlier today at Winnipeg Stadium, wow, 59-11. Michael Richardson ran a ton. The second highest total in playoff history, 226 yards. And here this afternoon in Calgary, Doug Flutie has 44 on the ground, but I don't think Richardson's mark today is going to be beaten. So Winnipeg is in the Grey Cup again. They were the 90 champions and in 88. Ham rolling, and he'll keep. And Tracy Ham over the 20 to the 23, and flags are flying. Looked like Blake Marshall may have taken a late shot at somebody. And there could be flags going either way.
Oh boy, that really hurts. Now that's going to back Edmonton up even farther.
Looks like Blake took exception to a tackle, perhaps a late hit on Ham. You don't want to get backed up like this when you're going against the wind.
Well, especially when you haven't had any success so far in the passing game. Edmonton's been trying to establish the run. Calgary's been defending it very well, and now they're going to be in a first and long situation.
Unnecessary roughness, number 22, Edmonton.
The call is against Marshall. Blake comes out on this play. And this is a call, 2nd and 20. And there's the hit by Marshall. It was on Sreko Zizakovic.
Expect Edmonton to throw the ball here and expect Calgary to come after Tracy. Pretty tough here.
Ham rolls right. Couldn't find anybody. Buys some time. Now delivers. Sandusky's open. Up at the 35-yard line. No, he didn't hold on. Sandusky thought he had a catch and a first down, but apparently dropped it. That would have been a big play for the Eskimos.
Well, that's Tracy at his best right there. Had nothing when he rolled into the boundary, turned back, and found a receiver to the field. It's too bad they didn't complete it.
Instead, Glenn Harper will have to punt out of his end zone.
Watch this block by Brian Walling. Now he's outmanned, but look at him staying on Will Johnson here.
Eskimo punter Glenn Harper is
gets right back in his face, gives Tracy a chance to throw the ball. That's just a great job by Brian Walling.
Very nice job by Walling. 5'8", 185 on Big Will Johnson, and well, it did bounce into the hands of Sandusky. So third down, and Harper's going to give up the 2 points. Or is he? Yes, he will. For a second there, faked as if he was going to throw the football, but a designed safety all the way. They give up 2, and it's now 12-1 for the Stampeders. Well, earlier we saw Wally Buono concede the single point and decline a no yards penalty for field position, and strictly that was a case of the Eskimos trying to buy some real estate as well.
Oh, absolutely. They've been losing the battle of field position the whole day, and one thing they didn't want to do was get another 20-yard punt into the wind and give Doug a chance in scoring territory right off the bat.
5 minutes, 1 second to go, first half in Calgary, where a heavy snow warning was canceled about 2 hours ago. We still expect some snow. High wind chill, high winds, but not as high as they were a couple of hours ago. And all in all, this weather has been a bit of a break for both teams for what we expected earlier this morning.
Absolutely, it's been a break, but I'll tell you, the way that Calgary's defensive scheme has matched up so far today, I'm not so sure that it would have made that much of a difference. Edmonton has been totally ineffective in this ballgame so far offensively.
Stampeders were the highest scoring team in the league this year and also allowed the fewest number of points. And when you talk about Flutie, the great receivers, you sometimes overlook what the Stampeders did defensively.
Will kick off from his own 35.
So the kickoff will come from the 35. Sean Fleming kicking deep to Derek Crawford, who's been a handful for the Eskimos so far this afternoon. This kick comes back. Eskimos have it. Well, the Stampeders let the ball bounce, and that's a mistake. And Edmonton gets a break they badly needed. It appears that Jed Roberts came up with the football.
Well, Chris, I think there was an absolute mix-up on who was going to field that ball. There's miscommunication out there on the field.
Calgary 49.
That might have been the wind playing tricks on Crawford, who thought the ball would get to him, but then it just hit the turf and bounced backwards.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It took a great bounce for Edmonton, bounced right back to him.
Now let's see what the Eskimos do with it. First down at the Calgary 49. Souls up the middle. Down to the 42. He has close to 7. Marvin Pope.
Tackled by
Big
number
Daddy
93,
makes the tackle.
Kent Warnock.
Edmonton still determined to run the ball on first down and try to get positive yards running the ball. Trying to stay out of second and long. I still think they're going to have to throw the ball some on first down to have a chance to score some points against Calgary.
Calgary number 5 this year in the league against the rush, but the numbers went much better when Pope entered the lineup 6 weeks ago. Second down and 3.
Blake
The Eskimos with Blake Marshall should have the first down.
Close to that first down stick.
Warnock with the tackle, along with some help.
Kent Warnock
Some
was in there
speculation, though,
again for the
Kent, that
Calgary Stampeders
Blake
on the tackle,
is
so
not
it was a penalty
100% yet. I don't know how you found him last week running against the Riders, but there is a lot of discussion about whether or not Blake Marshall is at full steam yet.
He seemed to me last week that he wasn't
Marshall
running
did get the
with the same
Edmonton
intensity that he
first
did
down.
earlier in the year. Now, you got to remember, he was out for, 7 weeks with that injury, so it was obviously a lot more serious than people had thought originally.
Eskimos are 9-2 with Marshall
First
in
and
the
10
backfield.
Eskimos at the Calgary 39.
First downs are even, but the score isn't. It's 12-1 Calgary. First down, Edmonton. Souls up the middle again. Ron Lancaster told us last week when they faced Saskatchewan that even if the running game was not successful early, they wanted to stick to that game plan, not to get away from it. And we're seeing here against the wind that they've got to establish something on the ground.
On the bottom of the pile.
Well, more importantly than that, Chris, they've got to establish positive yards on first down, and they've done that the last 2 times on first down. They've picked up 8 yards a crack each time.
So it's 2nd and 2. 3 minutes, 23 seconds to go. First half. Michael Souls, left side, knocked back. Second effort gets him to the 30, but I think he stopped short. Check that, it's Blake Marshall. And did he get close to first down yardage with the second effort? Stampeders have done a good job today of stuffing those holes on 2nd and short. Injured Eskimo is down. And we will take a break here. 2:51 left in the first half, and it's 12-1 Calgary. Ron Lancaster calls Rod Conniff the best center in the Canadian Football League, and he is out for at least a play, but it's thumbs up at the bench. Apparently Rod's okay for at least a few plays. Blake Dermott will now center. He moves from tackle, and Mike Dumares moves in at left tackle for Dermott. First down, Eskimos inside the Calgary 30-yard line. And again, it's Souls up the middle, and he powers down inside the 15. Will Johnson caught him from behind, along with the safety, Greg Peterson.
He takes it down.
Boy, Edmonton's really starting to do a job up front now. This has been a good drive for them. If they can come out of here with a touchdown and bring the score to 12-8, I think they'll feel good about this first half, getting out of it the way that they did.
Running into the teeth of the wind. The Eskimos threatening on the ground with Souls and Marshall. Back to Souls again. No hold that time. Marvin Pope's there. Great play by Pope as we join Mark.
Chris, the Blue Bombers are best in the East in 1992. They defeated the Tiger Cats 59-11 in the East Final. Coming up on Live of the Half, we'll have a full game report from Scott Oak at Winnipeg Stadium. We'll also talk with Calgary Stampeder owner Larry Rickman, who is trying to bring the 1993 Grey Cup game to Calgary. All coming up on Live of the Half. Chris?
Just a guess, Mark, but you sound a little chippy. Second down for the Eskimos. And we'll look into the end zone. Gizmo, touchdown! Tracy Ham sent Gizmo inside, and he got inside of Junior Thurman that time, Kent.
Too much cushion down there on the goal line. Junior Thurman respecting Gizmo's speed too much. He let him get underneath. Good throw by Tracy. Boy, they needed this touchdown in a big way.
That makes Gizmo feel a little bit better about that fumble deep in his own territory. His first playoff touchdown, catching the football. And this one has tightened up dramatically with that impressive march downfield. Fleming adds the single point. 1:48 to go here in the first half at McMahon. And Gizmo's got the Eskimos within 4.
Here you see Tracy rolling away from the place that he's throwing. Just throws a quick post route to Gizmo, and Junior Thurman giving too much cushion. That's one of the few second down and long situations that Edmonton's converted today.
Remember, all this started with the Eskimos' decision to give up the safety, then the kickoff, which they recovered. And after that, the Eskimos march in, capping the drive with the touchdown pass to Gizmo Williams. It was a 7-play drive for Edmonton into the win.
If Edmonton can hold him here on defense now, try to get out of this half with a 12-8 score, I think they'll feel really good about the first half going in at halftime.
Well, you consider some of the drop passes for Calgary, and this score could have been a lot worse. And Edmonton right in the football game now. Another short kick. This one will be fielded by Crawford at the 53-yard line. Jed Roberts, first man down again for Edmonton.
Well, I don't know if I like that decision. With a minute and 46 seconds to go in the half, more times than not, you're gonna be able to field that ball. Now you give Doug Flutie and his offense midfield position here. 1 or 2 first downs, they're in field goal range automatically.
As you can see, the Edmonton Eskimos defense has done a good job of containing Flutie's passing numbers, but Doug has also been dangerous on the ground. Goes down Eskimos near midfield. Out of the shotgun. Moving lots of time downfield through the hands of Alan Pitts. He was being watched by Enos Jackson.
Enos Jackson's their best cover guy in the secondary, in my opinion. It's going to be very hard to complete a pass on Enos. Here you see the matchup. Pitts trying to... Great coverage by Enos. Pitts gave him an inside shake, and Jackson didn't go for it.
Second down and 10.
Against Edmonton this year, Pitts predominantly against Jackson at 14 catches. There's a fan, and we have seen some Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans in the crowd too. Second and long. In the punt, and look out. Almost picked off by Damian Lyons.
Looney's pass is
Intended for Carl Bland, and Rod Lancaster smiling because that was almost 6 the other way.
Waiting in the weed.
Well, I'll tell you, Damian Lyons took a chance. He was going to squat on the intermediate route. Watch Doug in the second half now. They might run a double cut on Lyons to get a deep ball on him.
He had a tough week last week against Donald Narcisse, but pretty good season for number 10.
Yeah, he's had a good year, but there's some things that you can do on Damian Lyons. You've got to loosen him up early in the game by going deep.
Martino on third down with Gizmo deep. And Martino saw where Gizmo was and kicked the opposite direction. Sandusky got crossed up and let it bounce through the end zone, single point. Sandusky left the ball for Gizmo, and Martino gets a great kick. A 77-yard single.
Stampeders 13, the Eskimos 8.
And a big point for Wally Buono's crew.
I'll tell you though, I don't know if that hurts them that bad. You know, 1 point, it was a 4-point spread anyway. That only makes it a 5-point spread, but now they get the ball on the 35. The way they've been returning the ball on their punts, they haven't had much success. They would have been backed up.
77-yard punt in the wind, just shy of Martino's longest of the year, which was 82, and 4 or 5 point lead is not much of a difference. You're right. Now let's see if the Eskimos could. There was a toss up, and Ham just got off back on the ball. Matt Finley was there, but this will be procedure against the Eskimos.
Flags are down.
That should be a legal procedure by Edmonton. Tracy pulled away from the center too soon. Let's see what they call here.
And that might be the case of a new center again. Rod Cronop is out of the game, and Blake Dermott is now snapping the football. No, it looked like Tracy was pulling back.
Yeah, everybody else on the line stays stationary. That tends to tell me that Tracy just pulled away too soon. He missed the count.
So they decline the penalty.
First down and 15
it's a loss
now
of
for the
5,
Eskimos,
first and 13. Ham hasn't been able to get anything going in the air so far. They'll keep it on the ground, and there's nothing doing.
Tracy Ham on the keeper.
Marvin Pope moved up again.
Number 91, Marvin
And down went Ham. Matt Finley was in the neighborhood for the Stampeders D as well.
Well, Pope read the quarterback counter that time. Went to the well one too many times. I'll tell you, Edmonton's got to be effective in the passing game, especially on first down. And they continue to try and run the ball over a stretch of 4 quarters. I just don't think it's going to work.
Second down, Ham got 2. Second and 13. Gives it to Walling on the draw, up the middle. He's up to the 40, but Walling will be 5 yards short.
Number 34, Walling. He gets a gain of about 8 yards before he's taken down.
57 seconds to go. In the first half, the Stampeders stopped the clock, so they'll have some time to play with here after the punt by Glenn Harper.
They're going to get good field position here. There's plenty of time to score more points.
Wally Buono's team winning its first season series against the Eskimos since 1980.
Glenn Harper.
Harper's back.
In punt formation.
This time they do not use the onside players for the Eskimos. Smith and Crawford are the deep men for Calgary, and they're awaiting it on their own 47. They almost blocked that punt. And it's out of bounds at the Edmonton 54-yard line. So Flutie has 51 seconds to go. in this first half. Lots of time for Doug Flutie. Just a 14-yard punt by Harper. Pressured by Blair Zare. And that forced Harper to rush the punt. Zare got one earlier this year against Winnipeg. Just enough of a hurry. And into that wind, a short punt by Harper has given the Stampeders a chance to add to their lead. Out of the shotgun, Flutie. Now rolls right. In the flat, complete to Bland, who took the hit. And did he drop the ball? No, he hung on. That ball seemed to pop loose on contact, but apparently Bland kept his concentration and got control of the ball again. He's a great veteran receiver, real student of the game.
He's played really well for them this year. Him and Sapunjas have really improved their passing attack this year for Calgary.
11 catches last year in the Grey Cup game alone, 20 postseason catches. So he has been a clutch guy for the Stampeders. 45 seconds left, 2nd and 1. The short yardage unit is in for the Stampeders. And they get to McVeigh, and he has the first down and a little bit more, down to the 41. Willie Pless with the tackle. And back out come the wide receivers, Crawford and Smith, along with Bland. And they'll operate without a huddle here as Flutie calls the signals at the line. Now the clock will begin to run.
No pressure.
Now into the flat, complete again to Bland, and he steps out, stopping the clock with 32 seconds left.
Flags out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
I often have the question asked, the 2-minute drill so effective, why don't they do that for 60 minutes?
Because you wear everybody out on offense. The game goes fast enough up here without having to run it the whole game.
Bland in front of Larry Ruck that time, stopping the clock.
Doug just finding the soft areas in the zone.
It's interesting, that statistic, because the Stampeders opened the scoring in each of the 3 meetings between these two teams, but by the half, the Eskimos had led. Here's Flutie on the draw play out of the shotgun, and Willie Pless was right there.
Willie Pless.
Boy, Edmonton will take that. You know, that last pass play was a 7-8 yard gain, and now they got about a 2-yard gain on that one. Or they might not have got any gain. So that runs more time off the clock. If Edmonton can get out of here with just a field goal, it's a big difference than if Calgary scores a major.
It's now 3rd down and a yard to go, and you know from Flutie's reaction, he wants to go for it, and the fans here, close to 30,000 like this, they're going for it on 3rd down, but the clock's running too. They get it out the flat to Bland.
Great defense.
And he may not have it. Travis Oliver moved up and made the play.
It's complete to 85, Carl
Boy,
Bland.
Chris, they gave him a pretty good spot here. That's going to be close.
It's a close spot.
Stamp's offense, though, is walking off the field. That's a play very similar to the one we saw you throw to Jeff Fairholm last week. It, too, did not get the first down.
Boy, this will be a huge lift for Edmonton. If they didn't convert this 3rd down, they get out of here without having any points scored on them.
9 seconds to go. If it's a first down, the Stampeders will have time to kick the field goal. If not, it will be just a 5-point lead at the half. And I think both teams are convinced that this is going to be short. It's short.
Wow, what a lift for Edmonton's defense.
Well, missed opportunities is perhaps the story of the first half for Doug Flutie and the Stampeder offense.
Well, they had a blocker out there. They could have kicked Oliver out, but I guess they got confused on what man, whose man they were going to take.
Second week in a row, the Eskimos defense is held on that type of 3rd down gamble. And although it's a 5-point lead, you would think the Eskimos have to be going to the dressing room feeling pretty good about the situation at McMahon after 30 minutes. And they'll just try to run out the clock here. Tracy down, and that will do it for 30 minutes of football with the Calgary Stampeders ahead of the Edmonton Eskimos by 5. Friday night in Calgary, the annual West Awards dinner. Mark McLaughlin, the top scorer in the league this year. Ray Elgart, top Canadian, top defensive player in the West. Willie Pless, and the outstanding player 1992 in the West, accepting the award from Herm Harrison. Doug Flutie, remember the CFL Outstanding Player Awards on Thursday, November 26th at 8 o'clock local time. Check your local listings in the Maritimes. Doug Flutie, the outstanding player, trying to become the first outstanding player for the Calgary Stampeders since Lavelle Coleman. Only Coleman, Peter Lisk, and Willie Burden won the award. Check that the last was Willie Burden in 1975. As we get set for the second half, and the Eskimos will have the wind in the third quarter. They'll get the football when they re-tee it and kick it off. They'll have the wind and the football in the third quarter. Calgary, Kent will get it in the all-important fourth quarter.
Calgary's an excellent fourth quarter football team, especially offensively, so it's important for Edmonton to establish something here in the third quarter and to score some points.
McLaughlin gets a hold and now kicks it off. Gizmo takes the line drive at the 30. Waits for the blocking to set up, now switches gears. Trying to get outside, and Gizmo's in trouble. Down back at the 32. Darryl Hall stopped up. Kent Leonard's there. And Gizmo gets just 3 yards on the return as we check the stats after 30 minutes.
Boy, the time of possession is what really surprising to me. 20 minutes on the side of Edmonton. You would expect Calgary to have it on their side, but that's Edmonton's game plan. Stay on the field and keep Doug off the field.
Turnovers even. There is the play selection in the first half.
Well, there's no surprise there. It's 2-1 pass versus the rush for Calgary.
Tracy Hand, first down for the Eskimos.
Blake Marshall
with the carry, and Marvin Pope with the tackle at the 35. What about Tracy Ham in this second half? How does he change things up for the Eskimos and get some momentum going?
I think he's got to run some play action and throw the ball on first down. Here again, they're in second and long situation. I think this plays into the hands of the Calgary defense.
Just 3 for 9 in that first half.
If you remember, in the first half, the interception that he had was on second and long. This year, 14 out of 22 of their interceptions were in second and long situations.
Well, just 3 on the first down carry by Marshall, so it's 2nd and 7. Sandusky, and he is into the open field. Jim Sandusky caught by Alondra Johnson.
Jim Sandusky with the reception.
Johnson came up with the football. Let's see, are they going to get it to Calgary or not? 37 yards for Sandusky, and the Eskimos maintain possession.
Boy, Tracy really delivered that ball on the money. That was a nice throw.
Sandusky cutting inside in front of Carl Anthony.
This is exactly what Edmonton needed to do. Come on out at the start of the second half and get a drive going.
Johnson stripped the ball, but too late. Sandusky was down. First down, Eskimos. Give to Souls, right side. Lots of running room. Souls down at the 25 by Johnson. And it's another first down for Edmonton.
Tackle near the 25 by number 51, Alondra Johnson.
Well, there's how Tracy distributed the ball in the first half. Those numbers a little deceiving since there were only 9 passing attempts.
Yeah, usually the percentage to the slots is up a little bit more than 22% for Edmonton's offense.
Eskimos on the move after the Sandusky catch and a first down run by Souls. Give Marshall straight up the middle. Powers down to the 15. Cofield finally with the stop. But again, Ham seems to be hurt, and that will be a cause of concern. Tom Mickey is the backup, but Kent, as you said, the key is what they do on first down.
Absolutely. They've had good success here at the start of the half. I think Tracy ran into Marshall as he handed the ball off.
Close enough to bring the sticks in.
The sticks are out to get a measurement and perhaps to buy some time for Ham. Looks like they're a chain link short. And down that deep, that's not too bad, is it? It almost gives the Eskimos a free play here.
Well, I think they picked up the first down here.
Okay, they do get the first.
Eskimos.
It's really
Right at the
important.
15.
It's really important for them to be successful on this play in particular. They're in scoring territory now.
3 receivers to the left-hand side. Play action. Ham looking in the end zone, nobody there, and he takes off and is out of bounds around the 10 again, forcing Ham out of touch. A gain of close to 5 yards for the Eskimo quarterback.
But that's not bad. I like that call. They've been running on first down quite a bit. They come with the play action. Tracy doesn't see anything downfield, so he takes off, scrambles, gets 5 yards.
He was looking into the end zone for Gizmo Williams, who was well covered on the play, and Marvelous Marvin, as he's called here, has been a factor for the Stampeders.
Jeez, it seems like he's all over the field today.
Second down, long 5, Edmonton.
Well, once again, the Eskimos chewing up the time on the clock. Give to Souls, and Souls diving down to the 5. He should have another first down. Again, Pope there on the tackle. He's got it. But Souls extended himself and got the first.
Here we see Pope flowing to the ball, fighting off the block and making the tackle again. He is all over the field. He's having a great game.
But now, the Stampeder defense must dig in. They gave up just 9 rushing touchdowns during the season. That was tops in the CFL. First and goal from the 5. Ham will keep himself, and he's in. Touchdown, Tracy Ham.
Well, I think that was a broken play, Chris, and Tracy, with his athletic ability, just got the touchdown for Edmonton. Great start for them. Start of this half. They really needed this.
They got a real boost from their defense late in the first half, and they come out here in the second half. Ham follows Blake Marshall into the end zone on the opening drive.
Yeah, he was kind of ahead of Blake there. I still say that was a broken play. Tracy just made it happen.
So Fleming comes in to try the extra point.
John Fleming to try the extra point for the
And
Eskimos.
put the Eskimos ahead by 2. The hero of a week ago, Sean Fleming. And he puts it through. So the Eskimos with a 15-13 lead, scoring in the first 4.5 minutes of this third quarter.
On target for the Rocket, and he can fly. Ismail will score.
Flutie has some time, buys some more by scrambling. Clark is open, puts it up.
Tremendous catch. Big hole.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Bombers.
It's the 80th Grey Cup Championship, live Sunday at 6 on Sports Channel America.
Very impressive drive to open this second half, and Tracy Ham engineered it and capped it. 4 minutes, 5 seconds run off the clock as they go 78 yards for the touchdown. The Eskimos, the only team, visiting team to win here at McMahon Stadium this year, has the lead, 15-13. Derek Crawford from his 10-yard line. And he's cut down at the 22. Michel Bourgeot.
For the Stampeders.
Brian Wallach
Hit as
down,
he crossed the
holding
20-yard line.
that return to just 11 yards.
Number 94,
Big
Michel
shot of the two
Bourgeot
quarterbacks, Lancaster and Ham.
Boy, Tracy just outruns him to the corner. Pope's giving pursuit, but he's just not fast enough to catch Tracy.
Tracy scored the exact same way on Labor Day, and here's how the Eskimo bench reacts. Ron Lancaster knows Ham's at his best when he is doing just that.
Let's see if Calgary can answer here.
Flutie trying to sprint outside, gets away from one man. Look at those moves. How about Doug Flutie? And he is out of bounds at the 31. He got hit by Eddie Thomas, but Flutie bounces up. And he has a gain of 8.
Good block from number 31, Wayne
Give me a
Ford.
break, Doug.
It's a gain of 8.
Good night. He outruns Blue. Blue makes a valiant attempt there. Does his little patented spin here. Whoop.
That's on Willie Pless, top defensive player in the West this year.
Boy, Doug just making things happen. That was a good play.
Second
Great running yard for
Stampeders at the 31.
Doug Flutie in the first half. He had 141 yards in their opening game victory over Edmonton this year.
Andy McVeigh.
And Andy McVeigh will be close to the first down off the right side, but this may require a measurement.
Tackle made by number 11, Stefan Jordan of the Eskimos. And the sticks come out again.
Will it be Matt Dunnigan against Doug Flutie in the Grey Cup? Or will it be Matt Dunnigan against his old team in the 92 Grey Cup game? Well, this one's short by a few lengths.
They shouldn't have any problem picking up this first down.
And it's third down. Calgary.
That yellow line, man.
Third down.
Wano and Huffnagel conferring at the bench as what should be a routine third down gamble is executed on the field, and an easy surge by Flutie with that left side behind Rocco Romano. And they get the first down. Well, who was the last home team to win a West Final? 5 times in a row the home team has lost. Know the answer, Ken?
Yeah, I believe I got this one.
Well, the team that won that year did not go on to win the Grey Cup. The last home team to win the West and then go on to win the Grey Cup, the 85 BC Lions. Key Van Jenkins was on that team, and he's the lone setback here, but Flutie sprints out right side. And it closed up in a hurry there.
Doug Flutie darts for the far side.
Well, who was the last home team to win the West? It was the BC Lions. Or check that, the Eskimos.
Stefan Jordan, number 11, came up quickly for the hit.
The BC Lions 41-5 at Commonwealth, then going on to lose to the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Grey Cup game.
So it's 2nd and 7.
That was excellent support, that last play by Stefan Jordan. He saved Doug from making another big play.
Well, just a 3-yard gain for Flutie. And it's 2nd and 7. Under pressure, Flutie got hit, but Pitts has the catch at the 50-yard line, and Doug Flutie was wrapped up after he delivered the football. Benny Goods on Flutie, but Flutie's okay.
With the tackle, but not before. Pitts with the catch moves the sticks.
Well, that's a great example of Doug throwing off his back foot away from the pressure and still being able to complete the ball.
Been compared a lot to Tom Clements for his great vision downfield, even when a guy's in his face, like Benny Goods. First down, Stampeders. They're against the wind in this third quarter, and Key Van Jenkins stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Larry Ruck moved up from his linebacking position with support from Rob Davidson.
Larry Ruck, number 47, was up there quickly. So was 36, Dwayne Odom.
Great opportunity here for Edmonton to stop this drive by Calgary, get the ball back. 2nd and 12 or 13 yards here.
I know Ron Lancaster last week was telling us that Larry Ruck just hasn't got enough credit. Didn't make the All-Star team this year, but Ruck and Pless in the middle make a pretty formidable combination for the Eskimos. 2nd and long, Flutie delivers, first down. Big catch there by Pitts. Just inside the 50-yard line, and they only needed to get to the 50 for the first.
Great route by Alan Pitts. We call this a curl smash. You watch him, he'll come on down, he'll curl back to the inside and smash back outside. There's a curl inside, work right back outside. Perfect route, perfect ball. It's good execution by Calgary's offense.
Beat Dwayne Odom there, and Alan Pitts now has 4 catches on the game, and as you forecast in the first half, after a few early drops, he's right in it now. Stampeders moving against the wind here, and it's Jenkins up the middle. to the 46 for 3. Lloyd Lewis is there with Bless. Well, they thought they might have a chance for 30,000 here with a good walk-up. The bitter cold temperatures might just keep them short, but a pretty hardy group of fans from Calgary and a number of busloads from Edmonton on hand enjoying this one.
I see a few riders spark in the crowd there too, Chris.
Yeah, there's been a few flags with Saskatchewan colors. 5:43 to go, third quarter. And now the Stampeders with a good ball control drive of over 5 minutes, but down goes Flutie. Jed Roberts is there. Lewis as well, and Roberts celebrates the sack.
Chris, I believe there's a flag down. This might be interference in the secondary. Oh, they picked it up.
They only sacked Flutie twice this year.
Legal procedure, number 18, Calgary, declined. Third down.
Fitz jumped early, and instead it will be third down. Both sacks came in the first game of the year, but Lewis and Roberts took there at about the same time to get Flutie here.
Formation. Gizmo Williams and Jim Sandusky.
Martino against the wind. That ball doesn't go as far when it's frozen. It's like kicking a rock. Martino moving up to try to pick up the loose ball. Flags are flying. Sandusky alertly hopped on it for the Eskimos. Now, will they wipe out the no yards? Or were there more people there than just Tony Martino? Just a 17-yard punt. And it is a no yards call against Calgary. 5:17 to go, third quarter. Eskimos open the second half with a touchdown scoring drive. The Stampeders worked 4.5 minutes off the clock without it getting any points, but that's also important, Kent, when you're playing against the wind, just trying to keep it away from the other team. Now the Stampeders defense will try and dig in. They don't want to be too far behind when they get the win in the fourth quarter. Souls off the left side, and he has 3 up to midfield. Stu Laird, the fireman, in on the tackle.
It's a good surge by Stu up front.
Number 91 was there again.
Stu told me yesterday, he said, you know, I asked him, you guys were playing with the pressure of going back to the Grey Cup for 6 months. He said, a lot longer than that. He said, the day after we lost the Cup last year, we resolved ourselves to coming back. In the flag, oh boy, Carl Anthony couldn't hang on. Stepping in front of the intended receiver, and he chucked up the 6 points before he caught it.
Well, I tell you, that's a long throw to throw the out to the field like that. Watch for Edmonton now to run a double cut possibly on Carl Anthony to try and get a deep ball on him. Anytime you see a corner squat like that, try and run a double cut on him, get the big play.
In the meantime, Ham's just thankful that one fell to the turf. He had a touchdown against Winnipeg earlier this year on a play like that. And now Harper in the ball. Blew off the line of scrimmage, so they'll have to reset here as Pee Wee Smith drops deep with Crawford.
Glenn Harper is in punt formation for the Eskimos.
Chris, that could have really changed the complexion of this quarter. He picked that ball off and scored. Now Edmonton's playing for field position.
And they should be able to pin the Stampeders deep. But Harper had trouble with the snap. Gets it away, and what a blast that is. And it's out of bounds. They're going to mark this one inside the 10. What a recovery by Glenn Harper. Near disaster turns into a great punt for the Eskimos.
With a 51-yard punt that goes out of bounds.
Well, quite a performance under pressure by Glenn Harper after dropping the snap.
Great recovery. Boy, to drop it like that and then to pin him down on the 9 was a really good play by Glenn.
Why do I make things so difficult for myself? Now, the Stampeders are down at their 9.
Watch for Calgary to try to get dug outside here. No?
Right up the middle to McVeigh on the first down play to the 12. Short yardage.
Goes inside from the Stampeders, crosses the 10-yard line.
Pretty conservative for Calgary's offense. I felt like they try to roll Doug out and give him the option to run or throw.
Blue on the tackle for the Eskimos. Gain of 3.
Clock running with 3.5 minutes to go now in the third quarter. as the Stampeders continue to operate against the wind. 5 receivers now into the game for Calgary. 2nd and 7. Here's that rollout we were talking about. Flutie throws downfield and has a completion. Alan Pitts, Flutie's favorite receiver, comes up with a clutch first down grab.
Good coverage by Jackson. Pitts just won the battle. He positioned his body well on this play. If you watch Jackson here, it's another good matchup here. There's a bump by Jackson. He's trailing him. He's got good coverage, but Pitts just shielded him off for the reception. Allen's coming on, just like I said in the first half.
And a big first down throw by Flutie. He knows how important that is, so they don't have to kick it out of their own end zone. Pitts, a lot of people compare to the great Willie Armstead. First Stampeder receiver to the league in receptions since Rudy Linterman in '74. Evan Jenkins powers his way up the middle, and he has 5. Leroy Blue tackles him, and we join Mark.
Well, Chris, I've had to lower my flaps. The sun is down. It's getting a little cooler. I found someone else here with similar apparel. Flames, Darren Fleury. You guys big supporters. I noticed you got some of your teammates up there for the Stamps.
Yeah, well, Gary and I have a pair of season tickets each, so we try to get come to as many games as we can. It's good to see the Stampeders doing well.
Darren is joined by Gary Roberts and Joey Newendike up in row 6. Talk about the Battle of Alberta. It's the Eskimos and the Stamps, the Oilers and the Flames. Is this a big thing?
Well, there's no question. It's all everybody talks about around here is the Flames and the Oilers or the Eskimos and Stamps. So it's exciting and it's good for Alberta and the province.
Darren, thanks for coming down to the sideline.
Thanks for having me.
Chris?
There's Gary Roberts with his own hat apparel cheering on Doug Flutie, who just rushed for a first down for the Stampeders. And when you're operating against the wind, Doug's got to do this once in a while to just kind of stretch the defense out.
Well, because of that play there, it looks like Calgary's going to get out of this quarter. Only being 2 points down. They got the win at their back in the 4th.
First down, a minute 10, and the way Flutie's running the ball, 8 for 72. Who knows? Maybe they'll have the lead by the end of the quarter. Fake to Jenkins. Had to cut back inside. Leroy Blue stopped his progress outside. And Flutie gets back to the line of scrimmage and not much more.
Good contained position by Leroy Blue on that play. Didn't let Doug get outside.
Trying to become the first back-to-back outstanding player in the league since Dieter Brock in '80 and '81. The only other player to do so, a guy by the name of Parker in '57 and '58.
Chris, would you like to bet me on whether or not he's going to take that award home?
I like his chances. Doug did get back to the line. In fact, they give him a couple of yards on the gain. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Calgary. Their own 52-yard line. Under a half minute to go now, 3rd quarter. Flutie dropped the shotgun snap and just has to get back on the ball. That'll be a loss of 7. Lloyd Lewis pinned Flutie. Take a look at the all-star selections in the West. Flutie at quarterback in a tight boat with the guy from Saskatchewan. Marshall and Volpe, the running backs. Elgard, a great season. Alan Pitts are the slot backs. And then the offensive line. It spread around a bit in the West. And we have 9 from either team on the field today named to the Western All-Star team. Now Stampeders have 2 men onside. Martino thought about pulling it down, and there's a great punt into the wind. Sandusky. No yards flag is down, and Sandusky's down at the 47. Crowd reacting. They don't agree with the flag here. 27 yards turned out to be the punt. Thought it might have been longer than that. Stampeders appealing to Ken Lazaruk.
I'll tell you what really helped Edmonton in that situation was Calgary had to punt the ball. There was still a few seconds remaining, so they had to punt the ball into the wind. On top of that, they get a no yards penalty, gives Edmonton great field position.
First down, Edmonton.
Andy McVeigh was inside that 5-yard restraining line. No time left on the clock. This will be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Eskimos 1st and 10.
Last shot for Ham in regulation time with the wind. And He'll use it to go to the air. Scrambles out of trouble. Let's see if they track him down. Big block there by Souls on Tim Cofield. And Tracy gets near midfield. They'll change ends. It's the Eskimos by 2 after 3 quarters. 28,100 Hardy fans at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. And we thank the fans for their support as we get down to a very interesting 4th quarter. Eskimos have the ball and the lead. Second and close to 10 yards for Ham. Now going against the wind. Flips it off to Michael Souls. And Souls down the sidelines, close to a first down. Let's check the numbers through 45 minutes. Eskimos with the edge in time of possession and yards rushing.
Well, again, the time of possession, I think, is the difference in this ball game. Well, I'll tell you, this would be a really key second down conversion if they converted this play here. If Edmonton...
Tracy a little bit on the limp right now for the Eskimos. Looks like he can run through that for 15 minutes to the Grey Cup.
Did get the first down, the Eskimos.
Well, Tracy's a gamer. I mean, he'll play if at all possible. I don't think it's going to affect his play.
It was a first down, and they're down to the Calgary 47-yard line. Souls again. And he stutters his way down to the 40. Pope again on the tackle, but he has a way of kind of picking for his yardage. He doesn't really attack the hole, but he always seems to find it.
Souls has a great feel for the openings. He lets his linemen move the defensive lineman off the ball, and then he finds the spots.
After a gain of 7.
Of course, when you got Blake Marshall blocking for you, it's not as hard.
A couple of great Canadians matched up there. Marshall, the fullback, and Matt Finley, a Western All-Star, at the linebacking spot. 2nd and 3. And that conversion total of 50% is one of the big reasons the Eskimos lead this game. Here's Blake. Thunders getting close to the first down and then pushed back. I'm not sure he's got it.
Chris, that conversion percentage in this game at 50% is a good point because they were 38% for the season. That's why the time of possession is on their side.
Tracy's still hobbled. He's headed to the bench.
Number 96,
to confer while they measure for the first down.
Alondra Johnson teaming up to force
Tracy
another
looks like
measurement.
he's getting worse. His mobility.
Couple feet short. Ron Lancaster with the decision here. Sends him back in, and I guess at the 37, this isn't much of a decision. I don't think they can kick a 44-yard field goal into this wind. Tom Mickey is the backup, warming up along the sidelines.
Chris, we were watching before the game, the pregame warm-ups. The furthest that their field goal kicker could make it was at 35 yards.
That's into the wind. 3rd down. And they'll hand it off to Marshall. He has it. I'm a little surprised they did hand off that time with just inches to go.
Well, I think it might be because of Tracy's noticeable limp. He's obviously really hurting. It looks like it's getting worse.
Not a bad guy to hand it off to.
First down, Eskimos at the Calgary.
Jeez, he is a load.
Wally Bono had the comment yesterday. He's a guy you love to hate, but a guy you'd love to have, like Marshall. Great football player. Ham on the limp, maintaining possession for the first 2.5 minutes of this 4th quarter. Give to Souls. Breaks the tackle. Look out! Michael Souls inside the 20. Carl Anthony finally brings him down.
For Edmonton is controlling the line of scrimmage right now. This is a good sign going into the wind.
18 yards for Michael Souls off the right side.
Finally bringing Souls down.
And Michael getting close to a 100-yard game. He's up to 98.
Excellent block on Stu Laird on that particular play.
Interesting, in the 3 games this year, the team with the leading rusher has won the game. Souls has 98, Flutie around 80 for the game. Both teams have had some success along the ground. First down, Eskimos threatening. And the fans appealing for the defense to dig in at the Calgary 18-yard line. Give to Walling, up the middle, Walling churning down to the 13, close to 5, and the limp becomes more noticeable.
Crosses the 15-yard line before he's warmed under.
Boy, Tracy's even having a hard time getting the ball to his running backs in the run game.
He's had shin problems this year. The groin problem slowed him for quite some time. Last week he said he was the healthiest he's been since Labor Day. And now it's second down and a long 4. And he has 3 receivers left. Hands off Walling to the short side of the field. Walling close down by Pope. And this will be close to a first down.
Boy, they got a good spot, Chris. Boy, that's a first down.
Ryan Walling, who had a 50-yard draw play against Calgary in the '89 semifinal. And it is close. Just short of the first down. And they've clicked off over 4 minutes here in this fourth quarter. 10:52 to go. Doug Flutie and the Stamps haven't got the ball yet with the win.
Excuse me, Chris. I was just going to say it'd be interesting to see if the quarterback sneak it here or hand it off, depending upon Tracy's health.
Well, you'd think behind that line of Conop, Ambrosi, Bercheval, Dermott, and Morris, they could just fall forward for the inches required here. Conop back in the game after leaving midway through the second quarter. Veteran crew up front. Of the 8 to have won Grey Cup rings on the Eskimos, 4 on that offensive line. Tracy pushes up. He's got it.
Good surge by the offensive line.
Could have a first down.
Wally Bono's team will be in quite a hole if the Eskimos punch this one in for 7. Already down by 2.
Boy, for Calgary, you want to hold them to 3 here. You don't want to give them the major.
And the clock continues to run. Plenty of time for Calgary yet, but this is time they'd like to have the football. First down for the Eskimos. Souls up the middle.
Wow,
Drive.
what a surge.
Touchdown. What a run.
What a great surge by Edmonton's offensive line. They are totally dominating Calgary's defensive line at this point in the ballgame.
And the Eskimo faithful cheering that touchdown march, a little concerned about Ham. We might have seen Ham for the last time in this game, but I don't think the Stampeders have seen the last of Michael Souls. He goes over 100 yards and over the top for the Eskimos here for a touchdown.
Don Fleming on the Edmonton point after.
What an upset this could be. Fleming adds the extra point. It's a 9-point Eskimo lead with just over 9 minutes to go.
13.
And this guy has had quite an afternoon.
Stampeders, first and 10 at the 41.
Bloodied but not beaten so far. Michael Souls. Flutie hands it off to Keevan Jenkins up the middle.
Keevan Jenkins
has 3 to 4 yards. Lloyd Lewis really fights. On the stop, and Deacon Jones trying to fire up.
39.
The Stampeders at the bench. He's called the Secretary of Defense.
Stampeders going no huddle here. Like I said, this is when Doug Flutie usually counters and responds to a score.
2nd and 7 here, and out of the shotgun is Flutie. Throws to Jenkins out of the backfield, and he can't hang on. And what a way for the Eskimos defense to follow up the touchdown, forcing Flutie 2 and out.
Good read by Doug, threw underneath in the coverage, should have had a first down. Big uplift for Edmonton's defense.
8:48 left. Will we see Tracy Ham on the next series? Still getting attention at the bench. Looks like they're retaping the right ankle. Martino kicks it away. Line drive kick, and Sandusky inside his 20. Nailed by Ken Watson at the 26. So now the Stampeders defense must hold. Tom Mickey coming onto the field. Well, we've been expecting the snow since midday, and it has finally arrived here at McMahon Stadium. Great weather for Eskimos. Blake Marshall will be happy. Tom Mickey into the game in relief of Tracy Ham. He's done a good job as a backup quarterback for Edmonton, but he comes into a pressure cooker, Kent. He needs to make some first downs. Hands off to Souls, who's turned back that time by Pope and company. And Larry Rickman looking very anxious at the Calgary bench.
Well, what Mickey needs to do right here is put some first downs back to back. Even if he doesn't score, get a field goal. They need to change field position here, and he cannot turn the ball over. What they didn't want to do was get in second and long situations going into the wind. That's what they're in now.
So it's 2nd.
Only 7 minutes and 51 seconds left, but because of this wind, the field position can really allow you to score quickly. Key play here, 2nd and 10. And they give it back to Souls. Great defense that time, led by Stu Laird. And the Eskimos will have to punt on 3rd down. Here's Mark.
Well, Chris, Tracy Ham turned his ankle on that last series. He was in a fair bit of pain. They brought him over to the bench here and did a quick retaping job. They're going to put him back in the game. Now, Stampeder quarterback Doug Flutie also had some problems earlier in this quarter. This is the remains of his spandex underwear. They cut that off from around his knees down because it was cutting off his circulation, and he was experiencing cramps in his calf muscles. Chris?
I'll tell you, we get to the bottom of everything, even the spandex underwear. With 7.5 minutes to go and Harper in. I'll tell you, those punting numbers are pretty good for both punters, considering what they've been punting into.
Well, I didn't like that 2nd and 10 situation on that particular call. Edmonton should have tried to pick up the first down throwing the ball.
Flag down. Pee Wee Smith will get the no yards call.
Pee Wee Smith with a short return.
The Calgary Stampeders will have the football in Edmonton territory. A 23-yard punt into the wind, and I think that 30 yards might be as far as any kicker can kick it into this wind. So Calgary with a chance in scoring position. 7:10 left. Well, Wally Buono said his team was like the old Eskimo teams. If they worried about what they did and executed well, they could win this football game, and now it's a real test with under 8 minutes to go. Flutie will take off down to the 30 in the hook side. Fumbled.
They called him down.
And they say he was down. And a big break for the Stampeders there at the 28-yard line. Looks like Ham's ready to come back on the next Eskimo possession.
Flutie gets 7 yards.
7-yard pickup. Close to 8 for Flutie there. And 2nd and close to 3. 6 receivers out. Flutie in the flat. Comes up short to the intended receiver. And now, 3rd and 2 to 3 yards. Do you take the automatic 3?
Take your 3, but I'll tell you what, that is exactly what Edmonton needed, was to only give up a field goal in this situation. But yeah, you've got to take the 3 here, Chris, and play percentages.
Ron Lancaster said you can go 18-0 and you still got to win a playoff game to get to the Grey Cup.
I don't want to harp on the play calling here, Chris, but 2nd and 3, That would have been a very good call on 2nd and 3. Even if you only pick up a yard or two, you got 3rd down to pick up the extra yard.
Mark McLaughlin, though, has a key 3 points. And now the Stampeders are within 6. A converted touchdown will give them the lead. And Tracy Ham has led the Eskimo offense back on the field. Well, we wanted you to talk about play calls. We wanted a backseat quarterback.
Okay, I'll give it to you. That was a terrible call. 2nd and 3, they should have run the ball. Played for at least 2 yards, bringing short yardage and pick up the 1st down. Throw the ball on 2nd and 3 and scoring territory wasn't very good, I don't think.
We like to play backseat quarterback, but we don't have the credentials. You do. Chris Cuthbert along with Ken Austin and Mark Lee at McMahon Stadium, and it looks like we're down to a photo finish here in the Western Final, and the defense is digging in. Matt Finley stops Michael Souls.
It looks like Calgary's got almost everybody on their defense up on the line of scrimmage. They're absolutely playing the run here.
And as you said, going into the wind, if Calgary stops them here, you know they're going to get great field position right back again.
It's not that the blocking's not very good. It's just that Calgary's playing the run. Look at the defensive formation now. They got everybody up on the line of scrimmage.
Do they ever?
Their safety's only 6 yards deep.
5:20 to go. 2nd and 10. Ham play action. Has time. Sandusky.
Unbelievable.
What a catch, one-handed.
That might be the play right there.
Whoa.
Crazy Ham's pass.
Kent Leonard draped all over him, and the veteran Jim Sandusky, 31 years of age,
Leonard for the Stampeders with the coverage and the tackle.
makes the catch, his
wow.
3rd of the game. Doesn't get better than that.
He was being held, too. That could have been interference.
He had a great quote for me a few weeks ago. He said, you know, they say if you only knew then what you know now. He said, now I know everything I think I need to know to be a good CFL receiver. Real veteran, showing the savvy there. Left side, and again, the Stamps tough on the run. Brian Walling with a short gain.
Calgary had nobody in the middle that time in defense in their secondary. They're up playing the run on 1st down. I think if Tracy could run some play action on 1st down, they might have more success in the pass game.
Larry Rickman's sneaking a peek at the clock. Down to 4:13. Ron Lancaster putting a few miles down at the Eskimo bench now. 3 yards for Walling. 2nd and 7.
Nobody in the middle again.
Play action, the roll by Ham. He's in trouble. Down he goes, and what a big defensive play that is by Streko Zizakovic. Well, brother Lubo lost today as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Zizakovic wants to make sure his family is represented by somebody at the 92 Grey Cup game.
Eskimos after the loss.
The key to that play was Will Johnson. He would absolutely not let Tracy get outside contained. Zizakovic was not able to make the play as a result. I'll tell you, Tracy shouldn't have given up yards in that situation.
Tough to lose yards when Glenn Harper now has to kick into this wind, and it seems to now be gusting a little harder. Smith and Crawford deep. Not too deep, though, because of the wind. Here's Pee Wee. And he's going to run backwards. Let's see if he can turn it on. Thomas with a big play. For a moment, it looked like Smith would be able to spring that one.
Boy, Thomas really battled his man very well on that play. He saved a touchdown, I think.
22-yard punt. And Eddie Thomas prevented a big Pee Wee Smith return. Smith had the game-winning touchdown last year in the West Final, called the catch here in Calgary, 66 yards. He had the overtime touchdown catch in the first meeting of the year. Coming down to 3 minutes to go, and Doug Clooney has to generate a touchdown mark. Under pressure, throwing incomplete. Looking for Dave Sapunjas.
Good pressure up front by Edmonton's front four.
Under 3 minutes to go. It'll be 2nd and 10 Calgary when we return. Another great 6 hours of football on CBC today. Earlier, Winnipeg trouncing Hamilton to advance to the 80th Grey Cup. This one's still very much up in the air. Flutie, 2nd and 10.
Yep.
The Stamps down by 6. Going downfield, it's picked off. Picked off by Larry Ruck at the 50-yard line. What a big play that is for the
Chris, I was telling you before.
Number 25, Dave Stepanges, who made the tackle.
I was telling you before that play started that watch Edmonton rush 3 and drop 6 underneath with 9 people in their secondary. That's exactly what they did. They had good coverage underneath. Larry Ruck makes a great play. Right there. He's one of the 6 that were underneath in that particular coverage.
And Doug's reaction says it all. Big interception by Larry Ruck. And you just heard somebody in the Eskimo bench remind everybody it ain't over.
Again, they're up tough playing the run. I mean, Edmonton, they need to put some first downs together here and change field position.
Well, the interception bought them a lot of yards in field position.
Number 95,
but a few first downs would certainly help the Calgary
defense.
How many chances do you want to give Doug in those situations? I mean, the offense has got to rise to the occasion here now and try to run the clock out.
2:40 to go.
Gain of just under a yard for Seoul. Second down, 9 Eskimos.
Tracy Hand calling the signal, 2nd and 10. Over the middle, wide open, Jim Sandusky to the 42. Ken Watson catches him from behind.
That is 3 big plays now that Jim Sandusky has given Edmonton's offense. The start of the second half, on the first drive, he got a big play. He got a key first down a couple of series ago, and now he picks up another one for Edmonton's offense.
You know, they really have held him in check the last 2 weeks, but Sandusky breaking loose here. Had a big series against Calgary this year, 13 catches and 3 touchdowns coming into the game. He's 4 for 72 this afternoon. First down, Michael Soul. Hit at the line and pushed back.
Number 32.
Marvin Pope again leading that rush defense for Calgary.
Well, I'll tell you, Edmonton's going to be in 2nd and 10 every time if they continue with this philosophy. However, it's working for them. They're running the clock down, and they seem to be converting.
You look for number 7 again. Sandusky's been the prime target here.
Well, I think you run a very high percentage pass play here. Don't turn the ball over. If you pick up the first down, great. If not, you punt them deep. No safety in the middle again, Chris.
Little trouble with the exchange from center. Will Johnson can't get him, but Cofield does. Behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 45, so the defense does force them into a punting situation.
And a run for Johnson finished it to bring up 3rd down.
First sack of the game for the Stampeders D.
Boy, Tracy almost lost a snap there. That could have been a big boost for Calgary if they'd gotten that fumble. Great pursuit by Cofield. Jeez, he chased him all the way down from the backside.
And the Stampeders are going to call their timeout now. Otherwise, Edmonton would have run the clock down. 1:28 to go. Wally Buono, Stampeders down by 6. The winner to meet Winnipeg next Sunday.
Well, you kick the ball out of bounds in this situation. Do not give Calgary's return team a chance to give them a big play here. You got to force Calgary's offense to win the game. I think you kick it 20 or 30 yards, whatever you can get, kick it right out of bounds.
The Deacons fired up.
Formation for the Eskimos.
Crawford and Smith back at their own 20. I think that timeout was a good call. Let Flutie manage the clock, not the Eskimos.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. Oh, they didn't kick it out of bounds. Oh, yeah, they did.
Takes a hop, and it's Pee Wee Smith. Getting a few yards down the right side. Well, remember last year, it came down to the final minute. Danny Barrett was the quarterback, and he sent Pee Wee Smith deep. And Roy Bennett couldn't catch him. Called the catch. Pee Wee took her right into the dressing room and all the way to Winnipeg in the Grey Cup game. Can Calgary come up with last-minute heroics like that again?
Well, this is when Doug's at his best.
Yeah, he's not bad in the last minute. Over the middle, Sapunjas. Up to the 45 and almost to midfield. Big play for the Stampeders. Larry Ruck with the tackle. Sapunjas has 21.
It's a slot screen, Chris. They brought Sapunjas underneath, pulled the lineman out in front of him. Great call.
Well, we saw what you could do with about 20 seconds last week. Flutie has an eternity with a minute to go here. Sidearm pass, Bland can't hang on. And uncatchable.
Yeah, that should have been caught.
Clock stops with a minute 2 to go.
And it's second down and 10.
How many times have the Edmonton Eskimos broken the hearts of Calgary Stampeder fans? Well, the Stamps get a chance to shake all of that again here. As Doug Flutie tries to pull off the march to give him his first playoff win in the CFL. Second and 10. Lots of time.
Oh, he's got him. He's got him.
To the 15. Alan Pitts.
Boy, I'll bet you we'll see a double move here, Chris, on Enos Jackson. Let's see what happens. I don't know how he got so wide open downfield.
40 yards for the leading receiver.
Here comes Pitts. It's an out and up. It's an out and up. They got Jackson on what we call a wheel route.
They're 15 yards away from the Grey Cup game in Toronto. Flutie will keep it and steps out after a gain of 8. 36 seconds left on the clock.
Boy, I am really surprised that Enos Jackson gave up a double cut in that situation.
We're good! They mark it at the 9. They give Flutie 8. Check that, about 7 for Flutie. It's about 2.5 yards for a first down. 3 receivers to the wide side, 3 receivers to the short side.
It's going to be a run all the way. Yep.
Flutie has the first down to the 3. 33 seconds to go. And this is why Larry Rickman paid a guy $1 million a year. I think I read once that he won 16 college games at Boston College. In the final minute, Doug tried to call a timeout there, but he doesn't have one to call. And the clock will start running. I think Doug forgot that they called it on the Eskimo punt.
He's going to run again.
Right off the right side. Touchdown!
It took one big play to spark that drive. Alan Pitts came through for him.
McLaughlin has given the Stampeders the lead. 19 seconds left.
You knew that sooner or later the Calgary would answer the call. That's why I said ball control for 4 quarters wasn't going to be enough to beat Calgary. Let's see if Edmonton can come back and get a field goal.
Well, the Eskimos have been living on the edge, to borrow a Don Matthews phrase, for the last couple of weeks. The miracle of Gizmo in BC, and then last week, the unexpected slip by Ridgway. Can the Eskimos pull off another miracle? Watch the shoe. For a second, I thought it was the football, but Flutie was hanging on to that.
Good.
I guess you could say that Flutie put his best foot forward and gave the owner plenty of reason to celebrate. Well, they always come up with games like this and finishes like this in the Wild West. Now, they need a A miracle from Gizmo. Special alignment. They won't give Gizmo a chance to return this.
No, absolutely not. They're not going to kick the Gizmo.
19 seconds left. Well, maybe they will. Let's see what he does with it. A chance I don't think the Eskimos expected. Flags are down. Look up. Gizmo's got some room here.
Yeah, that's coming back.
But he's killing the clock, too. He's still going. Time's expired. This one's over. Unless the penalty is against Calgary, and that is the case. It's Calgary going to the Grey Cup for the second straight year. What a finish at McMahon.
Edmonton's luck finally ran out on him.
Kent, you know the joy of winning, like the Stamps have won here today in such dramatic fashion, and you also know how tough it feels to lose this way as well.
Yeah, I've been in both situations. It's a great feeling for Doug right now to engineer that last drive. I know he feels great to get into the Grey Cup, but it was a great effort by Edmonton. I'll tell you, I really didn't expect them to stay in the game like they did.
Let's go down to the field and join Mark Lee.
Thanks, Chris. I'm joined by the game's MVP, Doug Flutie, with another miracle finish. Doug, this must be one of the greatest games of your career.
There was a lot of, I tell you, we should have been up early and we weren't, and it hurt us. Great game, Chris. We just had one last opportunity and we took advantage of it. We had a great catch by Al Pitts over here, and it got us in position to win the game.
Doug, what was going through your head when you threw the interception to Larry Ruck?
I had Sponge open. God, my lips are freezing.
So are mine.
I had Sponge open behind him, and I just threw it off balance and didn't get it up and over. I was disappointed, obviously, but it's just one of those things that happens.
Tell us about the feeling in the huddle, Doug, as you were marching down the field.
The first play to Sapunjis and getting a good gain got the confidence back, and that's what we needed. And from there, we just kept going. So it was basically a feeling of confidence once we got that initial first down.
Doug, congratulations on a great game.
Thank you very much.
Doug Flutie leading the Stampeders to a 23-22 victory in the Western Final. We'll be back right after this.
After some jubilation in the Stampeder dressing room, now the post-game prayer as the Calgary Stampeders reflect on quite an afternoon. Here's Wally Buono's reaction to the Flutie touchdown. Nice to have a guy like number 20 in your corner as Buono and Rickman celebrate a West Final victory over the Edmonton Eskimos. So the jinx for home teams is over, but it almost continued. Edmonton really did put together quite an afternoon.
Well, they played great defensively all game, but I said early on that I felt like if they tried to play ball control for 4 quarters, that they weren't going to be able to score enough points to stop Calgary's offense from outscoring them, and that's what happened.
We've seen Doug Flutie do this so often in his career, but for a whole offense, I would think you'd need a lot of maturity and composure to be able to come across with the 10 points necessary in the dying minutes of a game.
Well, they got a great play to start that drive to Sapunjis. They got a middle screen to Sapunjis, and then they got the big play to Pitts on an out and up. Which really, well, here's the play here. I was really surprised that Jackson got beat on an out and up in that situation, but that's Alan Pitts for you. He came up with another big play for Calgary.
After that, Doug did it on the ground with 3 runs to get it into the end zone. So we've got the matchup, at least the Western representative, I think a lot of people expected. Now it's Calgary and Winnipeg. Your thoughts on that?
It's going to be really interesting. Well, here you see the run by Flutie. All he did was he put 3 receivers to each side with nobody in the backfield. That spread out the defense, relied on his offensive line to take care of the 5 guys up front, and they did the job. As far as the Grey Cup's concerned, it's going to be a matchup between Calgary's high-powered offense, in which they try to spread out the defense, and Winnipeg's linebackers.
Doug answered a real question today. Everybody said what a marvelous quarterback, but when the conditions are tough, when the wind's blowing, it affects them. But I guess it affects all quarterbacks, doesn't it?
Yeah, no quarterback likes to play into the wind. And as you recall, Edmonton in the second quarter took 11 minutes off. I think it was the second quarter. Anyway, one of the quarters, they took 11 minutes off the clock when they were going into the wind didn't give Jug a chance to have the win at his back.
Well, remember, the Calgary Stampeders set the goal right after losing last year that the only way this could be a successful season is to win the Grey Cup game. So I think that's why it looks a little subdued in that dressing room right now. But talking about Flutie and the wind, obviously he's in his element next week at Skydome.
Oh, you couldn't ask for any better situation than to play in a dome for a championship game with their offense in which they rely on the pass and the 5 and 6 receiver set. It's really going to favor Calgary.
We didn't really see him have the ability to put the ball in the air like he likes to today and mix up the receivers, but we did get that in the last minute. Sapunjas has been such a big guy for him all year long.
Yeah, I kept waiting for them to go to Sapunjas sometime during the course of the ball game, because he has really hurt other defenses in the league in which you've got to match up with him with your extra defensive back, which is usually your lesser defensive back. They waited all game long and got a big play out of him right at the end.
Are you surprised that the Eskimos made it as tough as they did today? A lot of people thought this was going to be a blowout unless there was a blizzard.
I really was surprised, to be honest with you. I felt like Calgary's receiving core matched up very well against Edmonton's secondary. I expected Calgary really to do what they wanted to in the passing game, and that wasn't the case. Edmonton came to play.
So is this an indication that next week's game, Calgary will be the favorite? I'm sure that next week's game will be closer than the odds makers might have made it.
Well, if Winnipeg plays like they did today, especially defensively, it'll be a close ball game. But if Calgary gets on a roll offensively and gets a tempo going inside the dome, it could be a long day for Winnipeg's secondary.
I think some questions were answered as, again, we look at the jubilation in the Calgary Stampeder dressing room. I think we answered the question about Calgary's defense today against the run. Marvin Pope is going to be a key man next week against Michael Richardson. Right now, we're ready to go into that happy dressing room and join Mark Lee.
Thanks, Chris, and we're joined by the commissioner of the CFL, Larry Smith, who's going to present the Western Division Championship trophy to owner Larry Rickman and head coach and general manager Wally Wano.
Thanks very much, Mark. Larry, Wally, well, I'll tell you what, that was Heartbreak City, and talk about having heart attacks in the stands. I think all the fans and everyone across Canada saw a great game, and a game that really exemplifies the CFL. We should congratulate Edmonton for a fine effort today, but the day goes to you guys. Congratulations, Larry and Wally, on an effort well-deserved, and good luck next week. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry, and I just got to say thanks to the coaches, Wally, the team. We got the best team in the league. I'm proud of these guys, and I'm proud of what they're doing for our city.
Larry, it was a cardiac city for all of us down there on the sidelines in that last minute. At halftime, you said to me, we just got to win this game. What were you going through?
I got to tell you, this was tougher than the Grey Cup last year. We've worked so hard this year. Everybody's worked so hard. Wally, the best. I'm just thrilled, Mark. Just thrilled.
Wally, I know you probably didn't get much sleep last night. How did you handle the last minute?
Well, the thing actually I was doing, I was praying. I was thanking the Lord that he put us in a position to allow us to win the game. And you got to give a lot of credit to Doug. He takes a lot of heat about a lot of things, but when it's all said and done, he's the best in Canada, probably the best in the world at his position.
Were you surprised that it came down to a last-minute finish, or is that what you expected today?
Actually, I'm not surprised at all. I knew it was going to be a very tough and very physical game, and what I was thinking was the field goal was going to make the difference, but we kicked the field goal before we scored a touchdown. So.
All right, Wally and Larry, congratulations on a great victory, and good luck at the Grey Cup next weekend in Toronto.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, let's bring in one of the other heroes of this game, Alan Pitts. Come on over, Alan, who made that dramatic catch in the last minute to put the Stampeders in position to win this game. First of all, Alan, congratulations on the victory. It must have been very difficult playing in that cold weather out there.
Yeah, it was. First of all, I just want to thank God for giving us the strength to keep on fighting. You know, we didn't play as well as we probably could have, but we never gave up. We never lost sight of being able to win this game.
All right, Alan, if you look at the monitor here in the locker room, here's your catch. Take us through it.
Well, what we had me going outside on a wheel, and Carl Bland's supposed to swirl back out, and the defensive backs kind of got tangled up a little bit, and I came wide open, and Doug did a great job getting me the ball.
A fantastic catch. Was the football seemed like a brick out there? It was so cold.
Well, early on, you know, it kind of was like that, and you know, but like I said, you know, we learned a lot about ourselves today, being down, not a lot of time left, but never giving up, and always believing that we could go out and win it.
Congratulations, Alan.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dave Sapunjas, another key member of that final minute drive. How about it?
I don't know if I can handle it much longer. It happened last year and this year again. I mean, you're sitting out there and you're about to have a heart. I mean, it's so intense. It was fantastic. Doug did an excellent job. Al came up with a big catch. The big players came up with the big plays, and we marched down and we did it.
Was there any question when you had the interception that it was going to be a loss today?
When the interception was thrown up, there's a big letdown all of a sudden. But then when the defense came up big, got the ball back right away, we marched down the field. This team, since the first day of camp, has talked about the Grey Cup. We're now going to the Grey Cup. We're going to bring it home to Calgary.
Dave, thanks for your time and good luck in the Cup.
Thank you. All right.
All right. And so the Stampeders beat the Edmonton Eskimos 23-22 to win the Western Final. They are going to the Grey Cup next week in Toronto to play the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.